Extremely high inflation coupled with the record fuel prices has become a major problem for the United States. Washington is trying to solve it by any means. US President Joe Biden once again called on the world's top oil producers to increase production, except for Russia, of course. The President of the United States has announced the need not only to increase oil supplies, but also to drive Russia out of all possible markets. In addition, Congress intends to improve a sweeping package of legislation intended to boost production volumes. This raises concerns that this time the United States will finally be able to force the group of oil-producing nations known as OPEC to increase output. Against this background, oil prices have tumbled to almost $110 per barrel. This is a fairly strong price movement, but it's still not enough for a trend change. The quote is still trending upwards near its highs. As for intraday price changes, the current decline can be seen as a correction. The level of 112.50 serves as a variable pivot point. If oil producers refuse to increase production, Brent crude will most likely return to $120 per barrel in the near future. So the fate of the oil market now depends on Washington. Gold is clearly trying to stabilize in the range of $1,840 and $1,850 per troy ounce. Notably, the yellow metal is more likely to head for the lower boundary of the range and return to the level of $1,810 per troy ounce. The outlook for gold is rather gloomy. The US Federal Reserve has begun an aggressive tightening cycle, while the European Central Bank is about to start raising interest rates. All this makes the government bond market more attractive. Thus, part of the capital will obviously leave the gold market, so any rise in the gold prices in the near future will be merely temporary. Meanwhile, the ruble has been standing still around 56 rubles per dollar for 2 weeks now. Now it's clear that both the government and the Bank of Russia are trying to somehow weaken the ruble, although their attempts do not allow the Russian currency to gain stronger upside momentum. They are futile. Nevertheless, the ruble is set to a noticeable decline. The only question is when this will happen. Obviously, the Russian currency will hardly plunge before the Bank of Russia lifts the existing restrictions and norms, which previously led to its strong gains. Until then, the ruble is expected to remain stable. And that's all for now. We continue to learn developments on financial markets. Subscribe to our channel and follow news with us. See you soon.